Hey guys, KiraKennedy here with my predictions for Money in the Bank 2017, also my triumphant return to Kira's wrestling vlogs. I do apologize that I haven't really been doing one of these in a long time. Long story short, after school ended and stuff, it's been really hectic. I've been kind of going back and forth between here and my grandmother's house to try and see if I can get a paid job. And I've just been having a lot of job interviews and stuff, and plus, I really haven't been all that interested in the product. I'm really sorry to admit it. But I want to try to get back into this, just to try to get some kind of regular video content out again. So I'm hoping to get some kind of schedule going with this again. Anyways, like I said, triumphant return, so let's talk about Money in the Bank, which takes place live from the Scottrade Center in St. Louis, Missouri, this Sunday, June 18th, live on the WWE Network. And so far, there have only been 5 matches confirmed, though there may be some matches that are confirmed between now and this Sunday. If any matches do come up between then and now, you can find out any new predictions over on my Twitter at KiraKennedyHNR. A link will be down below in the description. Also, I will put the addendum in the description if you want to go like that. But anyways, we're going to do this in ascending importance, so matches from the bottom of the list on Wikipedia to the top, and we'll go from there. You may notice I also have a lot more room here. Part of it is I'm using, I got a new phone that can shoot in slightly higher quality, and it also has a wider screen, so I'm just trying to get some more space here for the images so they're not kind of clipping over my head. Anyways, first up, we have the latest of the matches to have been announced. It is SmackDown Women's Champion Naomi defending her title against the debuting Lana. Logic would normally dictate that because it's Lana's debut match, she's going to be winning the Women's Championship here. The problem with that is, number one, her only match on the main roster that she's wrestled in consisted of 2 kicks before she tagged out. And number two, I'm not crazy about SmackDown's recent habit of hot-shotting people who, before being named number one contender, probably had no business being number one contender. Like, admittedly, Jinder's grown on me. I will concede to that. But I think putting the title on Lana right now would be a really dumb move, which is why my prediction for who's going to win the match is Naomi. Besides the fact that this is only her 3rd title defense, the second of those being a match that ended in no contest with the debuting Welcoming Committee. God, that's a stupid name for a tag team. So I can't see anyone but Naomi coming out on top here. From there, we move on to a historic event in its own right. The first ever SmackDown Women's Championship Money in the Bank ladder match. So basically, it's a match with the rest of the SmackDown Women's division, basically anyone who isn't Naomi or Lana, where the winner must climb the ladder and retrieve a briefcase, which contains a contract that will give the winner a Women's Championship match anytime, a guaranteed Women's Championship match anytime between this Sunday and next year's Money in the Bank pay-per-view. I'm kind of torn between 2 people here, because it seems like they want to put the title back, put a women's title back on Charlotte, but part of me really wants to see Becky win the briefcase. I don't know if I want her to turn heel, because recent history has shown heel turns doesn't mean you're going to be more interesting. Look at Dolph Ziggler. If I had to make a pick, like absolutely choosing someone, I'm probably gonna go with Becky here, just because it's a very shallow reason. Like the fact that she was named the first ever SmackDown Women's Champion, it would make sense to put her as the the first ever SmackDown Women's Money in the Bank holder, Miss Money in the Bank, if you want to say. From there, we move on to the second of 3 title matches. you have the SmackDown Live Tag Team Champions, the Usos, Jimmy and Jay, defending their titles against the recently drafted to SmackDown New Day, which is going to be any combination of Big E, Kofi Kingston, and or Xavier Woods. I know when New Day was champion, I was saying we're the longest reigning WWE Tag Team Champions of all time. I was saying how boring their title reign was getting and how it seemed like they were trying to artificially inflate it at that point. NXT is doing this much better with Asuka on a bit of a side note, but then again, what has NXT done? What hasn't the main roster done that NXT has done 10 times better? Anyways, I know I said the New Day's title reign was getting boring, but honestly, the Usos' title reign is just, it's terrible. It really is. I mean, their match at Backlash with defending against the Fashion Police, that was a good comedy match. It was pretty funny. But I think it's about time the New Day got another tag team championship here, and I think the Usos tag team title run, I should say, has kind of come to an end here. So that's kind of my prediction. I'm locking in here. New Day wins and becomes not only a three-time I'm not going to do the full dance, but three-time WWE Tag Team Champions, but they're going to pick up their first SmackDown Live Tag Team Championships. SmackDown Live Tag Team Championship win. After that, we come to the second of the two Money in the Bank ladder matches, a more traditional ladder match in which the contract gets you a match for the WWE Championship. You have the United States Champion and new face of America, Kevin Owens, taking on the phenomenal AJ Styles, Baron Corbin, Sami Zayn, Dolph Ziggler, and Shinsuke Nakamura. If that reaction didn't tell you anything, I'm not a fan of Dolph Ziggler. I know I keep saying this, but I used to think the only way for Ziggler to get more interesting again was for him to turn heel, but I think at this point he's completely mentally checked out, and I think he's basically on his way out the door. Because he's boring, even more boring than he was when he was a babyface. He's losing even more matches. He's made to look like even more of an idiot. And he's just not putting on good matches. He hasn't been putting on good matches since his feud with Baron Corbin, yeah. But, I mean, minus his feud with The Miz, I should say. But it just seems like Dolph Ziggler doesn't care anymore. So obviously he's not winning it. Shinsuke Nakamura, as much as I'd like him to win it, number one, the fact that he was the one that grabbed the briefcase on the Go Home show says he's probably not going to win it, but also the fact that they've just really dropped the ball with him so far. They've just turned him into another guy on the roster, which Nakamura really shouldn't be. Now, granted, I know that since he's come to the WWE, he's really had the same match every single time, but it's Nakamura. How can you make him into just another guy on the roster? Creative clearly doesn't care with this, and it pisses me off. Then we got Kevin Owens. He's probably not winning it because he's going on a feud with AJ Styles. Or he's probably going on the feud with Nakamura from what I've read in the rumors. From what I've read in rumors and stuff. Sorry, I'm a bit tongue-tied because I actually had to re-record this because of some incident that happened with when I was recording this the first time. Basically, my audio recorder skipped a whole chunk, and I don't know why, but anyways. So yeah, Owens isn't winning it. AJ Styles, while probably one of the more likely people to win the title, win the briefcase, I really don't think he needs it. I mean, depending on who's going to be champion going into SummerSlam or whatever the July pay-per-view is going to be called. I'm actually going to look that up right now. Sorry, whatever the July SmackDown pay-per-view is going to be called. Battleground. Okay. Battleground is going to be the next SmackDown exclusive pay-per-view. So whoever is going to be champion going into Battleground, which is probably going to be Jinder, but I'll get more into that. I'll get more into that when I talk about the main event. I think the most likely here, and this is what I've been seeing through like internet rumors and stuff, which, yeah, I'm believing it with the men's Money in the Bank, but not the women's Money in the Bank for some reason. I think Baron Corbin's going to come out on top here. It seems like they've really been wanting to push him to the moon since, I guess, since his feud with Kalisto ended. I mean, you had that little hiccup with that terrible feud with Dean Ambrose, but then again, Dean Ambrose has had terrible feuds with a lot of people. Yeah, I think Baron Corbin is the most likely person to win it here. AJ Styles is very likely to, and I would not be surprised with that happening. I think, aside from Dolph Ziggler, Sami Zayn is probably one of the least likely, because even since before he came over to SmackDown, they've been making him look like a total geek, a total moron. Just basically, he doesn't shut up. He keeps talking, and it's clear that he's that he's supposed to be annoying the people he's tagging with, and it's the problem with bringing guys up from NXT. Like, for every maybe one guy who's used right from NXT, like Baron Corbin is the only example I can think off the top of my head, you have 10 wrestlers that they completely waste. Guys like the Vaudevillains, like Tyler Breeze, Bailey, Sasha Banks, Sammy. I guess Kevin Owens would be a good example of guys they didn't waste from NXT, but yeah, so like I said multiple times now, Baron Corbin comes out on top here, and we move on to the main event, which I already mentioned who I think is going to win here, Jinder Mahal. Mainly because, number one, they put so much work into getting people to believe he should be WWE champion. A lot of people argue that they still failed at that. But they put so much work into him, into making him look credible, or somewhat credible, within the 4 weeks between WrestleMania and Backlash, within the time between WrestleMania and Backlash, that I don't think they're gonna have him drop the title so soon. Number one. Number two, it's Orton's hometown. Orton is from St. Louis, Missouri. And normal WWE logic, with a few notable exceptions, states that a wrestler will always lose in their hometown, because that makes the least amount of sense. If we're going with WWE logic, wrestlers in their hometown, they're going to lose. Now, I guess before I end this, I want to kind of talk about Jinder as WWE champion so far. I will concede that when Jinder was first named number one contender, it pissed me off, and I pretty much stopped watching SmackDown right up until Backlash. I decided to give it a chance and actually try watching Backlash because, from what I'd heard, Jinder had been coming out strong every single segment, and usually when they're so consistently come out consistently strong at the end of every show, that means they're probably going to win. Most of the time, it's the other way around. If you look strong the whole way through, you're gonna lose. I decided to watch Backlash and see how it turned out, and after that, I'm in a position of, let's just see how it plays out. A lot of people are gonna argue about Jinder's physique and all that kind of stuff. I don't want to comment on it really because I don't know. I know a lot of people are saying there's telltale signs of steroid abuse there, while other people are just saying, "Oh, you're just too fat and lazy, and you don't know anything." I will admit the signs are there, but for all I know, maybe Jinder is telling the truth, and maybe it is just a rigorous diet and exercise. And if that is the case, Jinder is insane, and there is an ounce of respect that will put. There is a lot of respect that has to go that way if it is true. If it isn't, whatever. I gave him a chance. I am giving him an honest to God chance, and I'm not gonna say, "Oh, I'm just waiting for him to screw up." I'm just seeing how it plays out. If Jinder was telling the truth, and it is just him insanely pushing himself to that point, then kudos. And I will give kudos to WWE on this because it does seem like they are taking him seriously. You have fans complaining he doesn't have any merchandise, and then a couple days after that, he gets his first t-shirt with his catchphrase, the modern day Maharaja. But yeah, I think Jinder wins here, and then maybe goes on to feud with someone for filler. I don't know. Maybe, I hope we don't do another person cashing in on the same night they win it, because I don't know, part of me wants to see how long Jinder can run with the ball, because it seems like he's doing a decent enough job. So, with all that out of the way, thank you guys as always for watching. If you guys would like to let me know what your thoughts are on Jinder as WWE Champion, Lana as #1 contender for the Women's Championship, which is ironic that I'm not willing to give her the same chances as Jinder, even though Jinder was actually wrestling matches, even if he was a total jobber before he was named #1 contender. And what are your predictions for Money in the Bank yourself? Let me know in the comments below. And like I said, these are the matches that have been announced so far. There may be more matches that are announced between now and Sunday night. And if you guys want predictions on those as they come, just follow me on Twitter at KiraKennedyHNR. I'll be putting up addendums there. So, with all that out of the way, if you guys would like to follow me on social media, I already mentioned my Twitter several times here, twitter.com/KiraKennedyHNR. I'm also on Tumblr at KiraKennedyHNR.tumblr.com. And of course, you can always check out my Facebook page at facebook.com/KiraKennedyReviews. And as always, check out any of my past work, my Let's Plays, my stream archives, even my reviews. You can do so at peanutbutterdisaster.com. So until next time, I'm Kira Kennedy, and thank you for watching.
Peanut butter disaster.